Hi everyone. In this video discussion, I would like to share with you all a channel message that was given to me by the Plieadians last night. So I'm going to take a moment to create a nice sacred space for me to receive the divine guidance. I'm placing my hands on my heart and my navel, blessing my life, my journey. I call upon the Plieadians of the highest vibration of love and light. May you assist me, may you assist all. May you heal my body, my mind, my energy space so that I may receive the richness of your pure consciousness. So the first thing the Plieadians want to channel through me, and again, this is a channel message that has been integrating in my vessel since last night. They want you to know about the dimensions on planet Earth and the higher dimensions that are on Plieadies and Orion. So as you know, we are in this two-dimension, third-dimensional reality, and the focus for the third-dimensional experience is mastering the body. So we get into the animal, we get into the human, and we get into the angel frequency. Now, the animal is in human is the survival, is the lower chakra, is the root chakra, which is being very grounded. It's very much like an animal on four legs. When we are on four legs, such as foxes, deer, lions, tigers, bears, we are very grounded, very low to the earth, very connected to our instincts, our primal instincts. And then we get into the human, which is the upright position, as we are, this upright, and that gets into the emotions. The emotions. Even dolphins and orcas and whales are very much in that humanness we are, which is about establishing bonds, establishing a spiritual connection, establishing a emotional healing, emotional response. That is the human. Now the angel is the elevation of the human. Okay, it is the transmutation of the emotion into wisdom, into information. That's the angel, is very much a holder or a sharer of the information. And that information comes together, you know, emotions, the animal comes together through the unconditional love. Unconditional love, as we know, is the highest vibration of planet Earth. It is the angelic frequency, and that simply is the frequency of information in its purity, the library, knowledge, wisdom, which is the vibration of resolution, compassion, and understanding. So it is, in essence, self and other and self, and knowing the body, knowing the mind, knowing the emotion, and the vibration, how to change the vibration, how to improve, refine, modify the vibrations. Very much the angelic frequencies. Knowing how to heal oneself is ultimately the angel. Heal oneself through the knowledge, the knowing of the vibration, the energetic space. So human is emotion, angel is very much about the energetic space. Like we could talk about sacred space, sacred ceremony, chanting, meditation is ultimately the energy, connecting with the energy, using that energy, creating, or not necessarily creating, transmutating energy to clear, to purify, to heal the emotions, and to heal the primal animal nature. So with the fourth dimension is very much about the connection to nature. So geographic regions that represent like dimensions, North European countries such as Finland, Denmark, Ireland, those countries very much vibrate at a fourth dimensional frequency, because as you know, they're very in tune with nature. Fourth dimension is like the Native Americans. It is very in tune with nature. There's a deep spiritual connection to nature, like an environmentalist or a humanitarian. It's very soft, it's very kind, it's very gentle with nature. Now, the fifth dimension is we talk about the unity and wisdom consciousness. So geographic region that can represent is really, I would say, like the Tibetan monks. Okay, that fifth dimension, the Tibetan monks, it is connecting with the library of time or timelessness. That's what the fifth dimension is. It's very much a library of past lives, future lives, all kind of coming together. Okay, and it takes a unity consciousness to really be able to understand that level of information where time is oneness of time and everything's kind of pouring in together. It's very much like a waterfall where all of these rivers are just kind of pouring into this area, kind of like you can imagine Niagara Falls, where it's just like everywhere around there's just water pouring into this area. That's very much like the timelessness or the oneness of time, what happens when you elevate into that level of consciousness. It is the ability to connect to time, not just here, but time in the cosmic travel, you could say, the cosmic travel. Now, the sixth dimension, getting into the mastery of like temples, we talk about the pyramids. It is putting that knowledge or that library, okay, connecting with that library, and it is a knowing of how to channel that into sacred sites. So it's being able to move energy, physical energy in this planet that is creating pyramids. It is a sacred site. It is channeling the fifth dimensional consciousness, connecting with that giant library, such as the Egyptians connect with cosmology, connect with sacred geometry, and they have a higher dimensional cognitive understanding that knows how to move that channel inside into a physical channel. We talk about the pyramids, and that pyramids are very much like a representation or a space in the earth for the vibration itself to be experienced on the planet. So we have external things such as our computers, such as our phones, that very much reflect this internal dimension. Okay, like our phones is very much like a fifth dimensional consciousness, and it's just simply a metaphor ultimately for what we are capable of inside. We have many dimensions, it's just we don't know how to experience the phone fifth dimensional consciousness, which is about a library, information you can access instantly. We don't know necessarily how to do that right now inside of us, so we need to externalize to kind of prepare us for that upgrade or elevation. We're entering into the fifth dimensional consciousness. That is where we can experience the golden age, which the golden age, we think about the chakras. We have the rainbow, which is like red all the way to violet. You can, imagine red to violet. And the gold I associate as like the arc line, or the arc line below your feet. And the 9th, 10th gate, which is simply your Sachic records. So a golden age is the energy of your colors. Your colors elevates into this cosmic Sachic record, this cosmic connection. Okay, so your lower chakra is very much like the connection to your primal instincts. We talk about instincts when we are bare. We're very low to the ground, so we're very much in a state of learning, observing, following the instincts of the cycles of nature, cycles of time, and learning about the basic kind of existence in this physical form, which is the cycles, learning about cycles. And then we get into the upright, which is learning about cycles as well, in the motions of cycles, in the spirituality of the elevated animal. And then we get into the angel, which is being able to basically be a creator. That's what an angel is. Human, it's like you transmute the emotion and you turn it into a healing sound, such as music, such as art, such as clarity. It is moving the energy, knowing how to move energy that can open up space in the body, in the mind, in life. So just feeling the energy of the Plieadian messages. So we talked about this fifth dimensional, the sixth dimensional pyramids, those sacred sites. We talked about the phones being just a simple metaphor for the dimension inside of us that we are being prepared to enter. So the golden age, the fifth dimension, the golden age, the Sachic records, which is the fifth dimension. So the seventh dimension, I believe that is like the highest dimension we have on this planet currently, because Earth is still very young. And the parent planets are Plieadies and Orion. So the frameworks for Earth were established from the Plieadies and Orion planet. So it's like the blueprint for this Earth is the blueprint of the Plieadies and Orion. So we're very much following kind of the vibrational path of the Plieadies and the Orions. So they're like our parents. So the seventh dimension. The seventh dimension is very much kind of like the peak of the golden age, you could say, or has been in our recent planetary cycles, which last for 26,000 years, and the last one we know as the Ice Age. So really during the Ice Age is when we kind of descended into this two-dimensional third dimensional kind of reality, which we are still in right now. So during that peak, we have that seventh dimensional consciousness, which again is this cosmic connection. So during that golden age, we have literally, our vibration is high enough to be able to handle the information of higher dimensions from Plieadies and Orion. So we talk about ancient Egypt before you can say Egypt, the chronological order that we see in our, Egypt's much older than that. And during this seventh dimension, our body is almost like, very much like a light body, or is in this transitional state from, it's physical, and yet there is this light, like there is a great amount of light inside the body. So we're not dense. Okay, we're very much not dense. We're really in this like light. We're almost like energy, almost like very vibrant, bright energy, like the Plieadians. When you imagine them, they're just like this blue energy, but yet very grounded like Native Americans, but have this lightness to their physical. So that vibrational field is the field where we are able to really connect with the Orions and the Plieadians, and that's why we have a lot of sacred sites that mirror constellations that are the Orion and the Plieades, because it is simply, those sacred sites are simply a download or a channel, that a space that is able, a high vibrational space that is able to receive the Plieadian and Orion when the temples and sacred sites are activated, which they aren't right now. It's like holding a space in a physical geographic region for high amounts of energy to be channeled and to be received. So basically, we were amplifying our own vibration through the pyramids. It was just like a huge site or space that is able to conduct higher vibrations that the physical body in the sixth dimension wasn't necessarily able to, because of the density of us. So with the Plieadians and the Orions, the Plieadians they're at higher dimensions in the seventh. So our planet it's very young, but once it matures, it will begin to shift where it is mature enough to vibrate at dimensional frequencies higher than the seventh. So we have the 8th, 9th, the 10th, and those are really high vibrations, but planet Earth still needs maturity. So we really need to master the dimensions we have right now. It's like we really need to master undergrad school before we can really get to, let's say, our master's degree. So that's what we're given, these seventh dimensions. If we get any more, the planet won't necessarily be able to handle it. So the Plieadians and the Orions are simply, they have the templates for those dimensions, because especially Plieadies is very much has the it's kind of like a library, and the Plieadians are like these great librarians. So when the time comes when we need those templates, or now we need templates, they have it for us. They have it to give us, because they're like parents, if we need, except they're highly sophisticated, wise parents. So if we need kind of a guidance, if we need a template or a blueprint that can help us, they will give it to us, because they have it all stored in this library that has not only our planet, their planet, Orion planet, the Lyra planets, all of these kind of planets in this galaxy geographic region in the universe. So those were very much the messages that was given to me last night and kind of given to me right now, that is relevant right now to what is going on. So our sensitivity is being heightened, because the fifth dimension is the fourth dimension we know is about being tuned with nature. There's a level of sensitivity with that, and the fifth dimension is even a ultra sensitivity, because you're connecting to like a unity of consciousness. So in order to really be receptive to that, you need to be sensitive. And also they want to mention about the purification of the third dimension. So the third dimension is like our foundation. It's like our roots, mastering the body. So a lot of us, we have so much stuff, like stuff in the body, okay? And in order for us to vibrate at a higher octave, we need to purify the body. We need to clean out our house. And that is what really the focus is right now moving forward, is just cleaning out our body so that we can receive literally a new template of design that is for the fourth and the fifth. Now, some geographic regions are like North European countries, Finland, Denmark, really environmentally friendly countries, have already are really in this process. They're really in this purification. They're really cleaning their bodies out. But a lot of us still have this stuff. You can say toxicities, emotional baggage, past life, just stuff unresolved, fears, doubts, shadows that we ignore, that we suppress, that we deny. But all of that's coming up to the surface. So that's why a lot of people are experiencing like, oh my gosh, I'm really sensitive, but I don't want to be, because I have so much stuff inside that I don't like to look at, because it just is a lot. It's a lot. Because the Dark Ages, we have collected a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. And now that we are coming out of the Dark Ages, all of that stuff needs to be addressed. But a lot of people being really sensitive, it's like, I can't address that, because it's just way too much. And that's why we have a lot of tools, a lot of like yogis, like Yogi Bhajan, and these gurus that have tools that can help us to transmutate that stuff, because we have to. This age is an age of transmutation, or the time, not the age. This time right now is about transmutation of the emotion, elevating our experiences, so that we can really be clear and clean, innocent and pure enough to be able to step into the Aquarian breed. And there are a lot of people in the Aquarian breed, which is about experience and knowledge, or wisdom. It is the beginning of a fourth dimensional experience, which Aquarian is the authenticity of the higher self. So there's going to be a focus on the knowing, not even the knowing, it's like, I know the higher self. Now I'm going to experience the higher self. I'm going to create from the higher self. That is the Aquarian age and what we are entering into. So yes, I feel like these are all the messages that are important right now for you all to know. is master your body. Focus on mastering your body. Know how to heal yourself. Know how to be your own guide, your own shaman, your own teacher, be your own student, because that is the mastery of the third dimension. And then we can begin to step into the fourth dimension, which is basically channeling nature. Literally, we're channeling nature. Vitality is the fourth dimension. Such as Finland, Denmark, environmentally friendly is vitality with nature. So becoming one with nature, you could say. Knowing nature, really knowing. And then the fifth dimension, which is this unity consciousness. But you need a clarity or purity of energy space to be able to be sensitive enough to connect with this great energy space that is Earth. And that is really the angelic frequency, our higher self frequency, which is just energy. Energy, the gift of energy through music, through song, through dance, that just can elevate the space, can heal. Talk about angels as being very healing, because they have energy. They know how to move energy into higher elevations. But first we need to clean out our body before we can really work with our energy space, the electromagnetic alterations, modification, understanding, and as well the creation, how to create from an energetic, magnetic, biomagnetic field. So when we're in that space, that bioelectromagnetic purity, clearness, I like to say, being clear, we tend to be more patient and compassionate. So we're creating through synchronicity. We're creating through unconditional love, which is self in other, other in self, and being able, having the empathy and also the transmutation skill of energy to experience immense love. Really, that's what it is. It is immense love. Immense love. Every neuron pathway in the brain has immense love. So childhood, that relationship, that past life, that thing, all of those neuron pathways, they have immense love. And that is through the elevation of those neuron pathways and through the elevation of the relationship to the neuron pathways. So relationship to other, relationship to the past, the childhood, past life, it is immense love consciousness, which for human, for this physical, it is felt, it is a physical sensation. Like I said, neuron pathways is a physical thing. And that angelic frequency is a physical sensation within the body of immense love. Immense love in the heart. So heart chakra is really big, so you can feel a lot of heat, a lot of wideness in your heart chakra. And also angels have a massive arc line. They have a very luminous arc line. They're big arc line. And they tend to be very grounded, like arc line or roots from the feet going deep into the earth. Because it represents the higher self, the emergence of physical with our most pure cosmic vibration. That's kind of what we came to Earth. The physical, we got to master the physical before we can sit there and live higher self. We have to master that. Physical, foundational basics to get to, like, undergrad school, we have to learn that before we can get to the real study, which is our focus for our, let's say our career. We got to get to the basics, those foundational ideas, those connections, the cycles. And then we get into the what we really want to experience in this planet is the mastery of the physical body brings us to the cohesion or the union of body and soul, and then body in this fifth dimensional becomes the clear reflection of the higher self, which is the cosmic vibrato of who we truly are, like who we truly are. And in that vibrational field, when we have, like, our space is really clear to our higher self, we literally, our biomagnetic space gives, like to say, like, impulses or tracks, broadcasts, and draws in the experiences that are for the higher self. And those experiences that are for the higher self going to be different for every person, but ultimately we go through cycles of expression, and that's our higher self. Expression of song, of dance, and it's not even expression of like a physical thing. It's like an energy we channel through our physical body. It's channeling the higher self. That is the expression. But that channel there's so many channels. So we channel the higher self through these many channels in the vessel, because that is what really we want to experience in a physical incarnation. Because through the body and the soul, you could say, and getting that in a nice, like, cohesion, a nice, working, thing, working well thing, function properly, body and soul, we get to experience the power of our cosmic energy in a physical sense, and that gives us great experiences and knowledge. We actually gain a lot of power, a lot of knowledge through the challenges of the physical, overcoming the challenges and rising into our most authentic self. The knowledge of courage, the knowledge of confidence, the knowledge of self-esteem, the knowledge of self-worth, and all of that ties into a greater vibration of unconditional love that we couldn't possibly have just being a soul in just cosmic vibration. To really have that unconditional love is to come into a physical with this diverse planet, polarity planet, and moving throughout time, gradually through many incarnations, into the higher self, the most authentic self, and experiencing that sensation, true sensation of unconditional love. That is power, great power that really strengthens the light form. It strengthens the light form. Because the light form, when it becomes many things and it masters those many facets or layers to itself, such as physical, light body, all of that, when it masters the many layers, the many facets of the soul self, it gains power, knowledge, and tools. And that's what we do. We have these many, many facets, many, many layers to, like many, many dimensions inside that the soul would like to master. And they're going to be different for each of us. Just like the zodiacs, they're all masteries for us. From Aries to Pisces, they each have their own mastery. And that makes up the total self when we go through the wheel of the zodiac and we learn and master these aspects that are in these zodiacs. And we will continue to move through these zodiac wheels to each time we cycle through, we gain more knowledge, we gain more understanding, we strengthen. But ultimately, the zodiacs that are very prominent or strong in our aura, such as for me, it's Aries, Gemini, and Pisces, very, very strong. Those are the zodiacs' great emphasis in my aura because those are my masteries, my strengths. So when we channel our creativity, a lot of times we channel it through the widest, brightest zodiac channel. Our focus. Now these other channels, such as it could be Taurus for me and Scorpio, that are maybe a more narrow pathway, haven't really expanded upon that zodiac in previous incarnations. Well, those supports, they're kind of like a pool. You know, they support the larger channels, which is for me Aries, Gemini, and Pisces. But as well, they are the change or the challenge that helps us to move in a new way. Like we are constantly in geometric pattern that is like a mandala that's shifting. So we have these primary colors. It could be Aries, Gemini, and Pisces is this primary color, a mandala. And let's say the Taurus and the Scorpio energy, it adds into the color and it kind of changes or alters the tint or the shades of those colors, adding it to shift the mandala in a certain way because we're constantly in this shifting of our geometric shape or geometric form, so that we can have the total experience, which is the mastery or the change of our embodiment to encompass the many embodiments that Earth has to offer, from Aries to Pisces, so that we can be masterful no matter what kind of channel we're in. We're trying to broaden, widen, strengthen the many, many channels of our total self. That's why we have these ages, 26,000 year planetary cycle. We have the ages of Aries all the way to Pisces, and we're Aquarian because we're strengthening or widening the pathway of the Aquarian age. We're strengthening it within us because that's the total self. Isn't one age, isn't one zodiac your sun sign. It is the total wheel that makes up your energetic space or pattern or mandala, I like to say. And it just simply showcases your strength. Really, it showcases your strength, and it showcases as well the energies that want to collaborate with you to support your evolution of yourself, to support your evolution of your concept of self. Concept of self is what the zodiacs ultimately support. Now you can know your unique zodiac, kind of what's in your aura. It could be 1, it could be 3. You just look into your charts, you feel into your energy space through your communication, through your expression, through your mind. Those are kind of like the key elements for me. So when I communicate, I'm through the massive channel of Aries. When I'm in a thinking process, it's Gemini all the way. And when I'm in expressing myself, it is a Pisces. So those are the key kind of things to think about when you want to discover your 3 kind of main primary zodiacs. You can have secondary, such as Taurus and Scorpio are secondary. They're a narrow pathway, but they're there to change me, evolve my concept of self. So I'm not, concept of self is this, it's not meant to be this. It's meant to be this energy, this. And it could be the same zodiac, meaning your way of communicating could be the same as the way your thinking process is. As the way, it could even be the same as your way of expressing yourself. So that's for you to go within yourself. And I communicate this, it's like an additional, because I feel like it is a way to help you become masterful. Masterful at your own life, ultimately. And yeah, I'm going to end it there, because I feel like the Plieadians are saying this is complete download. This is a lot of information, so I hope you are able to metabolize it. It's a lot. I don't remember anything, what I said, just about dimensions and zodiacs. Yes, okay. Sat Nam.